G'day everyone, welcome back to Pete's Investing. It's the 11th of July 2024. It's another update for natural gas, BOIL, KOLD and UNG. And there's been some minor movement. Natural gas and UNG have moved sideways since our last update. BOIL is very slightly dropped and KOLD is also slightly increased. This is our heat map which we use for all the instruments. You can see there on the top right. We're still predominantly neutral on all timeframes on the monthly for all instruments, and there's a bit of a mixed signal there on the weekly and the daily. Weekly is neutral and bullish, but daily is turned down on predominantly all of them except for KOLD, of course. So we'll go through the charts, but before we do that, let's talk about the way we trade. So we look at trading in the direction of the higher time frame. So if you're trading on the daily, for example, you trade on the direction of the weekly, or if you're trading on the intraday, you look at the daily trend as a main trend indicator. We enter the trade when the CCI has a fresh breakout from the moving averages, and I'll go through some examples. And we close the trade when that CCI enters back into the moving averages or the moving averages of the price chart. And again, I'll go through some examples. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell, but also support us more on the Patreon page where we look at further analysis of other trading styles, but also look at bullish and bearish share scans each week. Let me first off start with BOIL because I've got a request or a question from one of my viewers, and the question reads, any price predictions for near future of BOIL? Now, the way to answer that is there's many ways of checking for price action, but also predicting is very difficult, and I don't predict price movement or price projections longer term. So it depends on how far you want to go into price movement or price predictions. I don't look at fundamentals. First of all, let's get that out of the way. I'm not saying fundamentals are useless. I'm just saying I haven't got time to read all the material on all the instruments that I look at to get a good understanding of fundamentals. So I don't look at that. There are plenty of other sources and news articles and websites to go to get more fundamental analysis by Googling the particular instrument. So in short, I look at technicals only, and if you follow my videos, I look at the CCI predominantly and the moving averages on both the price chart and the CCI indicator. So again, regarding BOIL and where I predict price to go, so I'll look at the three different time frames. So again, depending on what time frame you're trading, if you're trading on the daily, for example, then I'd like to look at the weekly and the monthly to get an idea of projection and where it's actually going to go. So I look at trends primarily, and I can't tell you exactly where it's going to land longer term, if that helps answer the question. So let's go through a couple of examples. So again, I look at the monthly. In this case, I haven't got a CCI, so I can't really tell. But looking at the price chart, you can see it's below the moving averages. So it's still very bearish. On the weekly, we did have this bullish divergence, and that's why I like using technicals, because it gives us some idea of where it may bounce. Now, in this case, it had a slight bounce, but nothing too dramatic, and it's actually come back down and hit this level with this new support here. I've got the support on the daily chart. I'll just zoom out a bit. You can see there it's hit it once, and now the second time it's hit it there at 12.28. Now, where do I see it going? Again, depending on what time frame you're looking at trading, or where do you want to potentially look at buying or even selling. This is at the moment, again zooming out, at the moment it's pretty strong downtrend according to the price chart, but there is a slight, we've got a strong bullish divergence here, which means it could bounce quite dramatically. But at the moment, it's not showing any signs of that. Instead, it's actually making new lows. So looking at the intraday, so if I go to the hourly chart here, you can see there I've got, again, using the trend of the daily, we only take short trades. And by short trades, I mean when the daily's declining like it was there, or it is there, you take short trades during that same period on the hourly. So you would have taken a short trade there and closed it out when it enters in the CCI moving average range there, and that would have been near the bottom there. Enter another short position and at that point there, and close it out with a few points gain there. Enter another short entry there, and in this case you would have closed it out right near that bottom where it hit that CCI into the moving average range. Now, you could have held it, but notice as well, we've got a bullish divergence, higher lows versus lower lows on the price, and the price actually bounced a bit. Now the CCI is still rising, so if you're going short here, I'd like to see, I'd probably take my profits off the table and wait for a more conclusive decline on the CCI before taking any more short trades, even though the daily is still trending short. So at the moment, I'd be out of this trade. I wouldn't be going long or short into it until I see the CCI break to the downside, in which case that'll support my short positioning according to the daily. Or if the price started bouncing, and it looks like it may well bounce further to the upside, the CCI is still rising ever so slightly. Again, I can't predict how far it's going to go, but in terms of minimum retrace levels, I do take a Fibonacci retracement from that low to that high. And if I was to draw a minimum retrace, again, this is minimum, that would be my minimum target area. So in that 23-38% level, of course, could go a lot higher. We don't know. Now, again, I don't predict where price is going to go. I look at trends. So again, looking back at this period back here, so that would have been during that period there when it was a bullish trend, you would have taken long trades only. Now, in this case, we had a bearish divergence, lower highs, and it broke to the downside. That's our minimum target area there, 23-38% level. In this case, it went well beyond the 61%. Again, we can't predict where it's going to stop. Even Elliott waivers out there can give you some indication, but again, it's all about projection and probabilities. There's no guarantees. So I'm just using trends as an example of projection and probabilities. So hopefully that's answered the question. There is no predicting accurately where it's going to land or where it's going to continue to. I'll look at trends and I look and try to judge trades based on the higher time frame trend that it's taking. So going back to natural gas, on the monthly, we're actually broken into a neutral positioning. On the weekly, it's also neutral. It's within the moving average range of the CCI. And on the daily, it's still in a bearish trend. So again, if you're trading on the daily time frame, you would have be wise to taking your profits during that bull run of that weekly period. During this period on the daily, you would have wise taken it and actually closed out your trades when you hit the CCI moving averages. So at the moment, if you're going long, I'd avoid entering the trade until we saw a more break above on the weekly if you're trading on the daily. Now, going to the hourly chart, if you're trading on the intraday, you can safely trade on the bearish side, but notice it's hit this support at 22.86. So, and the CCI is almost being breached into that moving average range. So just careful about that. I'd like to see it break below this support area before taking any further short trades. But again, here you can see it's bouncing off this support at 22.86, and you can see there was a bearish divergence. I'll extend that to that low there versus the CCI to that high. So higher lows versus lower lows on the price. That's a bullish divergence. It hasn't actually bounced very high, but if we drew a Fibonacci, again, I always take it to the point previous to that where that divergence started. You can see there it's just touched that 23% level. Let's move that a bit higher.
Buy at market executed.
So you can see that
exit with gains.
23% level, and it's bounced down from there. So that's why I choose that 23-38% as a minimum of a retrace of a Fibonacci. I don't trade the Fibonacci's. Sorry, I don't trade the divergence. I only use that as an exit point. If I was going short during this period and I saw that bullish divergence, I'd start taking profits, especially if you see the CCI starting to rise. So again, it's more of a profit-taking strategy using the divergence.
Sell at market executed.
KOLD, there's no indicator on the monthly, but you can see there at the very least it's probably neutral. On the weekly, we had a bullish divergence back here versus lower lows on the price. The price bounced quite significantly, and we had a nice big bullish run during that period over those months. And we had a small retrace during those couple of months over May, June, where it was bearish. And then it started making a bit more of a bull run again currently in July. Now, that's the weekly, so we'd be wise to take only long trades during the daily. So if you're trading long, you can see there's bullish movement as well. So you would have been in the money had you gone long during that period when it broke above on the CCI and also the price, and you'd still be in a trade today during those days there on the daily chart. On the hourly, You can see there using the daily as a reference, taking long trades only, and that equates to this period back here. You can still take long trades again when the CCI breaks above the moving average band, and you close out your trade when the CCI breaks into that moving average band. So again, long entry, close it out. You might have got out with a little profit on that one as well, and that would have been a nice big bullish run and nice little trade to take and close it out when the CCI breaks into that moving average band there. Probably enter another trade there, and that would have probably been a very small gain or a very maybe a break even. And at the moment, avoid going long because the CCI is dropping off and below the moving average band, so just hold off until we see this break higher. Also notice that's also a bearish divergence, lower highs versus higher highs on the price. So that's a bearish divergence, which means we may see a pullback. And if I have to draw a Fibonacci at the minimum, retrace, assuming it starts retracing from there, we want to see it minimum retrace back to that level. So again, if you're going long during this period, avoid taking long trades until we see the CCI break higher and invalidate this divergence. And lastly, we'll look at UNG. Now, UNG is still bearish, had a long, big bearish run on the monthly.
Sell at market
Weekly,
executed.
it's neutral. It's a bit hard to see on that CCI, but I've got a color code there and it shows you it's neutral. And the price is broken below the moving average band. So avoid going long or short on the daily if you're trading on the daily. But on the daily chart, it's showing a bearish trend, and that's bearish only for trades on the intraday. So if you look at the hourly chart, using the daily as a reference, we only take short trades only, and that equates to this period back here. So again, going short when it breaks below the moving averages of the CCI and the price chart, close it out when it enters into that range there, another short entry there, maybe a break even or a very small gain on that one, and another short entry there, a nice big gain, and close it out when it enters the moving average range in that point there. This one, again, you would have not taken any more short trades, because again, similar to the previous chart, we've got a bullish divergence there versus lower lows on the price. The CCI is making new highs, even though the
sell at market executed.
Downside. We don't take any short trades here, and we don't take any long trades. We just sit on the sidelines and wait for a more conclusive break to the downside of the CCI. We want to see the CCI still declining like it did back here to be taking any more short trades. So hopefully that's answered one of the viewers' questions and also helped you better understand the trading strategy using the trends on a higher time frame. So if you got value out of the video, hit that like and subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching. Support us more on the Patreon page where we look at weekly scans of bullish and bearish shares, and we'll see you in the next video.